And welcome into another episode of Sports Gambling with Moneyline Monaco. Alex Monaco, fired up to be with you here on the Volume Sports Network. It's Wednesday, May 18th. Top of the Western Conference Finals to you. Shock to the world. It is not the Phoenix Suns. It is the Dallas Mavericks on one side of the ring going against the Warriors. Thank you for rocking with me. If you are not subscribed to All Things Volume, please do. Any rate or reviews for this particular pod goes a long way. Spotify, iTunes, thank you so much. Really appreciate the support. We're coming off a win and a loss in game one of the Heat and the Celtics. I was on the Heat, correct pick, correct side. Line moved at the very end with Horford and Smart going out from -2 to -4.5. Heat covered nonetheless. Wanted to get cute, took the under. I'm staying away from totals in these playoffs. I felt duped because I was looking at that live over-under on FanDuel halfway through the third quarter, seeing 220.5, knowing it was 204 when it closed. I was sick to my stomach. So I'm sticking with just sides. Forget about the totals. Don't worry about it. We're diving in. Curry versus Doncic. It is as good as it gets. We are going to make a pick here on game one. I'm a little nervous because it is a decent size number for how well this Mavericks team is. I'm going to swallow the 5 points here and take the Golden State Warriors in game one to win and cover. Feel a little stronger about the double result, win the half, win the game at -125. Decent value there, but I am going to just pick a side. I don't want to not pick a side in game one. I have to do it. Willing to lose here. And I know this Mavericks team is an excellent cover. They've been an excellent cover all season. They are a good road underdog cover. But there's something to be said about what this Warriors team is at home. And coming off the conference semifinals, they had won 15 games now with that closeout W against the Grizzlies in the conference semifinals at home. That is beyond remarkable. 15 games in a row. And where are they at home in the last 8 home games? 8-0. Straight up 8-0. Now, against the spread, different conversation. We know the Mavericks are trending towards covering. They're 4-1 in their last 5. Clearly, they were the underdog in the Sun series. They were down 2-0. Only makes sense that that number would fit. Now, we do know that the Warriors didn't cover most of those games in the 4-2 series win against the Grizzlies. But riddle me this, hear me out. This is the number one team, the Memphis Grizzlies, against the spread in the NBA that we had to deal with. The number one team. And quite frankly, that is a big difference when we're talking about a Warriors team that was a decent cover. They were a decent cover, but they weren't an unbelievable cover this season. They were 3 games above 500, 46, 43, and 4. But this is a top 2 team at home on the season. We know what the Splash Brothers, Draymond and company bring to the Chase Center and the San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area fans. And this season, this postseason, they're undefeated at home, as I mentioned, and they're actually 4-2 against the spread at home, averaging 117 points per game across those 6 outings. They're also shooting 49% from the field and 40% from 3 in those contests. The Mavs, believe it or not, just 3-4 straight up on the road. Now we're talking about cover. I'm going to call a little regression here. I'm going to say that what Dallas did in the 2 closing games of the Sun series, once it was 2-2, that they're not going to stay with an offensive rating of 126. They're not going to hold the Warriors like they did the Suns to 176 points on 39% shooting. It's just not going to happen. Here's the other caveat. Defensively, Monty Williams could not figure out how to adapt and adjust to the Phoenix Suns, to the Dallas Mavericks. They couldn't do it. Luka was a matchup nightmare. Devin Booker, decent defender. He couldn't hang with him. Chris Paul couldn't hang with him. When they would switch and Ayton would get him at the top of the key, it was hard to watch. Luka just had his way. Look at this Warriors defense. This Warriors defense, completely different matchup situation for Luka going against these guys. Now, I'm confident in Steve Kerr's ability to platoon swap and properly game plan for Luka, because in a nutshell, what that Dallas series was a ball dominant Luka who would draw all eyes on him and then kick it to a Reggie or a Brunson or a Finney Smith or a Bertans, and they would hit even a Kleber an open, otherwise not really contested three. This Warriors team has seen it all. They're too smart, all right? Let's not forget who this Warriors trio has gone against over the years. They've met the likes of a Luka. They beat LeBron in the NBA Finals, all right, multiple times. It is a challenge to handle Luka, but you have Klay Thompson. You have, I think Draymond Green may get the assignment at times. I think Dallas and Kidd, they're going to go small ball. I think Powell's not going to be a huge factor like he wasn't in the Sun series on minutes. They're going to go with Kleber, a Bertans. They're going to go stretch five, smaller guys to match with the small ball that the Warriors are going with Draymond at the five, more likely than not. So we're going to get an ability to have a Klay, a Draymond, even an Otto Porter trying their best to lock down Luka. And I'm confident that Jalen Brunson between Poole and Curry is not going to eat the same way he did in the Sun series. I'm confident. And so I'm going off of a little bit of, I don't want to say a hope and a prayer here because Dallas is hot right now, but it's a new series. We have a rest advantage for the Warriors. You saw what the rest advantage in the Heat did at home in game one against the Celtics. Dallas had to go on the road and then has to stay on the road in game one. Is it a coin flip on whether the Warriors will cover the 5 or not? I think so, but let me just bring you back to what happened in the game 6 closeout game against the Grizzlies. Different personnel, yes, but that was a close game the entire game, and then they went ballistic in the last 6 minutes. I mean, out of their mind, double-digit victory. If you were on the Grizzlies +8, you were sick to your Scotty Van Bad beat stomach. This is what the Warriors do. This is what championship pedigree teams do. They close out games, and when they close out games, they typically cover in those games. I'm going to back the Warriors here, -5. Don't feel great about it, but I have to do it. And then we go to our degenerate special. I'm staying on the Warriors. I really like this. I almost made it my lock of the day, but I'm going to take the Warriors to win the half and win the game at -125. I'm going to couple it with Curry 25+ points to pay us +160 on FanDuel. Briefly on Curry, the last 10 games, he's been sensational. He's gone over 25 in 8 of his last 10. He had 27 and 21 in the 2 games he played normal minutes against the Mavericks this season. He played less than 25 minutes in the third. I don't want to count that. He was on a pitch count. 27 and 21 in those 2 games. I think they're going to really work the offense through Curry in game 1. I mean, it's a ball movement offense and everybody eats. But ultimately, they want to set the tone. They want to set the precedent of what the series is going to be. And again, if they want to go in a boat race, if they want to go tit for tat, Dallas and the Warriors in a 3-point contest, give it to me all day. There's no way Dallas continues this 3-point shooting. Let me remind you, on the Warriors double result thought, win the half, win the game. Warriors score more points than the Mavericks on the quarter, on the half, on the season, at home versus away. We have that in our corner. Warriors are also the #1 scoring team in the postseason right now, averaging just under 115. They're scoring the most offensive points this playoffs of the 16 teams that started in the Sweet 16 games. 4 remain. Warriors are top dog in offense. if you want to get in that kind of a game with them, you're not going to beat them in a series. Period, point blank. There's too many shooters. There's too many guys to rely on. And the coaching, again, I'm impressed that the Warriors had no Kerr in multiple games in this series. They still came out and they won 4-2. I have to back Golden State here. Rest, home. They are more talented, deeper, better coached, and Kerr and Kidd go way back. Kerr's had Kidd's number on multiple teams. Let's not get on Jason Kidd here like he's a Steve Kerr championship coach. This man has been passed around as a head coach and didn't fit. He had Giannis at his disposal. He couldn't figure it out. He was on the Nets bench. So the Lakers didn't want him. It's not like he's a Madden 99, 2K 99 overall coach. He's excellent with his defensive scheme, but he's getting these guys to play above their pay grade. If you go play 2K, if you really look at this Mavericks roster, they shouldn't even be in the series. They shouldn't. Luka's amazing, yes, but the coaching and the ability of what this Warriors defense can throw at you. And again, this team was one of a couple of teams that was top 5 in points against for a good amount of the season, defensively speaking. They came out the gate, played the best defense in the NBA to start the year before they dealt with a multitude of injuries. So for me, I'm confident Golden State comes out to a hot start. Now, in all games but one, did they not lead by halftime in the games they won in the series against the Grizzlies? And then I went back and I looked, and how did the Mavericks do by halftime in games that they danced against the Suns? And to the Mavs' credit, 2 of 3 games they lost, they were down. They did lose. They did win a half one time against the Suns in game 2, in which they lost that game by 20. So they are competitive out the gate. But again, I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking at trends. And again, we have a rest advantage. We have home court, and we have a team mentally that wants to pounce. There's a little bit of psychological here. I don't envision the Mavericks coming out and setting a tone to where they're going to be the bully on the block. Because as much as you want to call the Warriors small ball, they have all the ability to be physical as well. And if you want to play chess against them, they'll play chess, baby. So I'm going to go with Curry, 25 plus points. And I'm going to go with the Warriors double result. And again, Curry's averaging 26.9 in the playoffs. He went 4-9, 4-5 against the Nuggets, over 25, 4-6 against the Grizzlies, 24 in one of those. So very close. If you want to play it safe and get plus money, go Curry 20 plus points. It's a little safer. He could land between 20 and 25. I want the plus 160 value. Warriors win the half, win the game. Effortless hits the over. Probably hits the over on Shaq, FTX, crypto commercials too. I'm off book on that. Literally, I can memorize that entire commercial and say it to you right now. Let's move on to our prop shop pick of the day. I want to throw out Draymond Green for a second. I like him on over 6+ assists. I like him on over 8+ rebounds. He's had 6 or more in 3 of his last 6 against the Grizzlies, but he's also had over 6+ assists in all 5 games against them. He's been an excellent facilitator in the playoffs. That's what he looks to do. 6.6 assists per game in the playoffs. He averaged 7 in the regular season. He has that ability to facilitate as a point forward. One of really the best point forwards we've seen in years, at a guy that will get a rebound, run down the court as a large man, and find the open player. He's like a quarterback with high accuracy. He has Drew Brees in his basketball game. He's always looking, and he's very deceptive with some of his passes. I can see Draymond Green getting a 6+ assist tonight. I'm going to dance on him, going 8+ rebounds as well, averaging 7.2 in the playoffs. His career playoff, though, rebound number is 9.2 rebounds per game. He went over this 3 of 6 times against Memphis. He had 15 rebounds in the closeout game, which, Draymond's a guy that gets himself going. He's old school. He's Rodman. He's got a little Jordan in him. He has the ability to give himself a narrative to get riled up. This is a volume sports homer pick, but I'm loving DG 8+ boards and 6+ assists. Also, he's playing the center position, and I don't expect Dallas to throw a big body at them. So he had to deal with a lot more size in the Memphis series. If they throw Kleber at him, he's going to eat him for breakfast on the block. I could even see him getting 10 boards tonight. So I'm going Draymond 6+ assists and 8+ boards. I want to throw out here also in this section the Celtics +125 to win the series. They're down 1 game. And I watched that game and I was on the Heat and I was terrified by halftime. I said, oh my gosh, this Boston team is coming in up 8 by half, won the first quarter as well, and they're smacking the Heat around. And then all of a sudden, the 22-2 third quarter run, Boston didn't hit a basket till halfway through the third quarter. And next thing you know, they're getting routed. But to their credit, they stayed in there. They hung in there. Tatum had an incredible first half. Robert Williams, phenomenal outing. And for them to battle and win the first half psychologically with no Al Horford and no Marcus Smart, I think that is an incredible confidence booster for the Celtics team. Jimmy Butler had his 40-point game. He played out of his mind. You look at the box score. No Lowry. We'll see where his health lies. But ultimately, I believe in this Boston team. They've already experienced a game 1 loss. They've already had to battle. They were down 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, came back against the Bucks countless times. And let's not forget what this team is. This team is absolutely a all-encompassing, everybody holds themselves accountable, both sides of the court type squad. They play offense, they play defense, they play hard, they play for each other, and Ime is an excellent coach. And I think game 1 was a lot of what kind of adjustments is Spoelstra versus Ime going to make by halftime. He has his blueprint now. We've seen what it is. And I watched all the press conferences after because I'm watching everything. Ime was talking about it. They didn't protect the ball very well. Jimmy Butler was swooping balls like Madden user picks last night. Shouldn't happen again. Taking better care of the ball and really playing that defense that they are notoriously known for, which is the #1 defense in the NBA all regular season. And who else other than Jimmy Butler can they make beat them in this series? And so Celtics opened at -175. I did recommend it. I am now absolutely recommending +125. I think they win game 2. I don't see us getting a better number like this. If they go down 2-0, then hammer the series spread. Take +1.5 because this puppy has 6 or 7 written all over it. This won't be the first time that the Heat are up in this series. They got home court, and they're an excellent home court team, top 3. But what I've seen with Boston all series, all playoffs rather, their ability to go into a road ruckus environment and get a win. And if you want to call a spade, South Beach does not have the same dedicated fans as the Milwaukee home base does. So to go into Milwaukee and steal 2 games, particularly game 6 down 3-2, I'm not worried. And this is what it is. I'll take the Celtics +125. I may consider sprinkling on the Warriors to cover -1.5 at plus money in this series. You can get that tonight. Can they win 4-2 again? I honestly think they can. I think they win the first 2 games. I think Dallas gets a third. They potentially steal a fourth on the road. It's 3-1 back to Golden State. Even if it's 2-2, I could see the Warriors closing out 5 and 6. So I'm going to take a small sprinkle on the Dubs at -1.5. We have, is Luka the best player on the court? I'm saying no. I'm still saying Steph or Lysis. Steph Curry or Luka, give me Steph Curry. I'm sorry. I'm that guy right now. I'm not jumping on the Luka train. He can be contained, and this is the team to do it. So in review, I'm going to swallow 5, take the Warriors. I'm going to go Warriors double result. Take that separately. That's my favorite bet tonight. Just didn't want to not pick a side. And I'm going to go Curry 25+ points, and that same game parlay, I'm going to go Draymond 6+ assists, 8+ boards. I'm going to go Celtics to win the series and I'm going to dance with the Warriors -1.5 on the series. Thank you for tuning in. Sports Gamble with Moneyline Monaco. This puppy's up on YouTube as well. If you want to subscribe there, appreciate all the support. Any compliments you could throw. Doing our best out here. Going to throw my picks up on Action Network. Of course, the rate and reviews go a long way. Thank you so much to all of you tuning in. We will see you tomorrow. Special edition interview. One of the best cappers and professional bettors in the game. He's been on the pod before. He will be again. Do not miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, don't forget to hug your moms. Ta-ta real smooth.